My name is Arthur Vance, and I am 73 years old. Last weekend, my son, Liam, threw a party in his $4 million fortress of glass and steel. He was celebrating his promotion to senior vice president, a promotion I, the silent majority shareholder of his company, had secretly authorized. He didn't know that. He only knew me as the awkward old man in the corner, the one wearing a suit older than some of the guests. When his wife, Isabel, and my own daughter, Chloe, began to mock my simple life in front of his powerful CEO, Liam didn't defend me. He laughed. He laughed at the man who owned the very ground beneath their feet. That laugh would become the most costly sound of his life. The air in Liam's Greenwich mansion was thick with perfumed arrogance. I stood adrift in a sea of marble, the clink of champagne flutes and the hollow echo of laughter scraping against 20-foot ceilings. A jazz quartet played softly, its notes swallowed by the room's vast, cold emptiness. This was Liam's world, Isabel's world. It was no longer mine. My fingers instinctively brushed the lapel of my old wool suit. Matilda, my late wife, had picked it out for me over 20 years ago. It was the suit I wore to our daughter's wedding, the suit I wore to Matilda's funeral. Tonight, under the unforgiving glare of a crystal chandelier that cost more than my first house, it felt like a shroud, Arthur. Isabel glided toward me, a vision in emerald silk, her smile a perfect empty curve. "Are you enjoying the party?" "It's quite a spectacle," I said. "Liam must be thrilled." "He is," she replied, her eyes already scanning the crowd over my shoulder. "Oh, can I fetch you some water? We must be careful with the elderly and alcohol." She shared a conspiratorial glance with a woman beside her, who tittered politely. "Water would be fine," I nodded. "Thank you, Isabel." As she summoned a waiter, my mind drifted to the $800,000 down payment for this very house. Liam had called it a strategic family investment. I'd called it a gift. Just like the $200,000 for Chloe's wedding in Lake Como, or the $100,000 for my son-in-law, David's, failed Uber for Pets app. I was their silent, shameful patron, a vault they preferred to keep locked. I saw Chloe across the room. Our eyes met. Her smile flickered and died. She offered a tight, dismissive little wave, the kind you'd give a distant acquaintance, before turning her back, her cheeks flushed with my embarrassment. Liam stood near a fireplace, large enough to park my car in, speaking with a silver-haired man in a suit that screamed money. My son spotted me, and his jaw tightened. "Dad," he called, his voice strained. "Come here." I walked over, a threadbare relic amidst their tailored perfection. "A big night, son." "Congratulations." Liam forced a laugh, the same one he always used when introducing me. "Thanks, Dad. This is Mr. Sterling, my CEO. Sir, this is my father, Arthur Vance." Mr. Sterling's handshake was firm. His eyes, professional, calculating, did a quick inventory. Face, suit, shoes. The assessment and dismissal took less than a second. Liam rushed to explain me away. "My dad is retired. He lives a very simple life." Simple. The word hung in the air. Not humble, not frugal. Simple. The word you use for someone who isn't clever enough to want more. "A fine quality," Sterling said, already turning back to my son. "The board has high expectations, Liam. The board." I nearly smiled. The board of Apex Solutions was two people. Me, Arthur Vance, 51% owner, and my lawyer of 50 years. This powerful CEO, this man Sterling, was my employee. My arrogant son was his employee. They had no idea. Later, a spoon tapped a crystal glass, silencing the room. Liam stood on a step, Isabel beaming beside him. "Thank you all for coming. This promotion is a true honor." He thanked Isabel, his rock. He thanked Mr. Sterling, his mentor. He thanked his incredible team, gesturing to Chloe and David. I stood by a potted ficus tree, holding my water. I waited. A nod, a mention, and thanks to my father for being here. Nothing. The applause faded. The party resumed. And then it happened. A young executive, eager to impress, raised his glass. "Liam, this is amazing. What did your father do before he retired? He must be so proud." The room stilled. The jazz music seemed to fade. All eyes turned to me, the curious artifact in the corner. Liam froze. And then Isabel stepped in with that sharp, tinkling laugh. "Oh, that's sweet. Arthur is, well, he's just very simple." She let the word hang, a delicate insult. A few nervous chuckles rippled through the crowd. Chloe, my own blood, saw her chance to belong. "He's a small-time investor, right, Dad?" Her voice was high, patronizing. "Just a few rental properties, something to keep him busy." The laughter grew warmer, easier. David, never one to miss an opportunity, piled on. "That's right. I saw him last week in that 2005 Camry, paint peeling right off. I said, 'Arthur, let us buy you a new car.' But he said," David paused for effect, "he'd rather change his own oil." The room erupted. Real, mocking laughter. They were laughing at my car, my thrift, my life. I looked at Liam. I waited. This was his moment to be a son. He didn't. He just smiled, that tight, embarrassed smile, and shrugged. Isabel delivered the final fatal blow. "We try. We invited him to Europe last spring. He said he'd rather stay home and fix a leaky pipe." She shook her head in false sympathy. "He just doesn't understand our world. Our world. The world I paid for." And then Liam, my son, laughed. A genuine, full-bellied laugh of relief. A laugh that said, "Thank you for making my embarrassing father the evening's entertainment." My daughter laughed. My son-in-law laughed. My CEO smiled, and every employee of the company I owned was laughing at me. The anger never came. The sadness was a fleeting ghost. What remained was a cold, profound clarity. The fog of decades lifted, and I saw them for what they were. Matilda's voice whispered in my memory. "Enough, Arthur. Enough." I didn't speak. I didn't cause a scene. I placed my water glass on a passing tray, turned, and walked. I walked past the laughing faces, through the marble foyer, to the massive oak door. The laughter died as they realized I was leaving. The silence was deafening. "Dad," Liam's voice was panicked. "Dad, where are you going? The party's not over." I stopped at the threshold, but didn't turn. I couldn't let him see my eyes. "I'm not feeling well," I said, my voice steady as stone. "You all enjoy your world." I stepped into the cold night, pulling the door shut. The solid thud of the latch was the sound of a gavel falling. The trial was over. Judgment was coming. An hour later, I was back in New Haven. The steady hum of my Camry's engine my only companion. David was right. The clear coat was peeling. I had the touch-up paint in my closet. This car was paid for. Its engine had never failed me, unlike the six-figure German sedan my son leased, a rolling monument to debt. I felt no rage. The humiliation had cooled, hardened into a weapon of pure focus. The same icy calm I felt before a major acquisition. They thought I was a simple old man. They had no idea I owned the entire casino. My apartment welcomed me with the scent of old books, worn leather, and if I breathed deeply enough, the faintest trace of Matilda's rosewater perfume. This wasn't a stage. It was a home. The home where we'd raised our children. The home where Matilda had taken her last breath. They saw this place as a symbol of my failure. They were spectacularly wrong. I walked into my study, a cramped room with an old oak desk. This was the heart of Vance Holdings. This was where the man they'd mocked kept the records of the 12 companies he owned. They saw a simple, sad old man. They saw a ghost. They had no idea I was the quiet architect of their entire world. I picked up the heavy, black telephone and dialed a number I knew by heart. He answered on the second ring. "Stone, Ben, it's me." A pause. He knew my moods. "Arthur, you're home early. How was the party for our new SVP?" "The party," I said, my eyes on a photograph of Matilda, was very enlightening. I let the silence stretch. "Ben, I need you to pull the personnel files for Apex Solutions." "Arthur, what?" "I need the contract status for 3 employees. Liam Vance, Chloe Collins, David Collins." The line went dead silent. "Arthur, what is this?" "I'm not asking for a review, Ben. I'm giving you an instruction. Prepare the termination paperwork." "Fire them, all 3, he gasped. "Termination? Arthur, have you lost your mind? These are your children." "I am perfectly sober and clear," I said, my voice flat. "Fire them. Effective immediately. No notice. Minimum legal severance. Not a penny more. Revoke their corporate cards, their access, their company cars. I want David's car towed from the lot before he's done crying. Do you understand me?" "Arthur, this is scorched earth. This—" Then the phone erupted. A frantic, buzzing symphony of panic. Liam, Chloe, David. I watched it dance across the table, a testament to their crumbling world. I sighed, picked it up, and pressed the power button. The screen went black. Silence. I finished my coffee, left a generous tip for the waitress, and drove home. I knew they would come. At 3 p.m., the pounding started. Not a knock, but a desperate, furious assault on my door. I opened it to find them. A ruined portrait of my family. Liam tie-ripped, face purple with rage. Isabel mascara streaking down her cheeks. Chloe sobbing silently. David looking utterly lost. They burst in, a hurricane of panic and demands. "You have to fix this," Isabel shrieked, her elegance gone. "You have to give us money." "We'll lose everything," David wailed. Through the chaos, I remained calm. I let them exhaust themselves. Then I picked up my phone. I have one friend, a lawyer, Ben Stone. Maybe he's heard something. I dialed, putting him on speakerphone. "Vance Holdings, Ben Stone speaking." "Ben, it's Arthur. My children are here. There's been a terrible misunderstanding. They've been fired." The line was silent for a beat. "Misunderstanding, Mr. Vance?" "There is no misunderstanding. I gave the termination order to CEO Sterling this morning. A direct command from the board." "The board?" Liam sputtered. "What board?" You're my father's lawyer. I am Arthur Vance's personal attorney. Ben's voice was a blade of ice. And I am the president of Vance Holdings, the parent company that owns 100% of Apex Solutions. The silence in my living room was absolute. You could hear the dust settling. Isabel was the first to understand. Her face went chalk white. V. Vance Holdings, she whispered, her eyes wide with horror, locked on me. It's you. I ended the call. The beep echoed in the stillness. Yes, I said, meeting her shattered gaze. I own Apex. I own the building it's in. I own 11 other companies. I turned to Liam. Your leased sedan. How much do you still owe? Because now you have no job. The truth crashed down on them. Their world, the world they'd been so proud of, was my world. And I had just pulled the foundation out from under it. 2 weeks later, a soft, hesitant knock came at my door. It was just Liam and Chloe. No Isabel. No David. They looked thin, tired, broken. They stood in my living room, seeing it, truly seeing it, for the first time. Dad! Chloe wept, her voice raw. I'm so sorry. I was so stupid, so cruel. Liam couldn't look at me. I was ashamed of you, he choked out. Ashamed of the best man I've ever known. I failed. Isabel left. She took the kids. Mark left too, Chloe whispered. He said the tuition bills were my problem. The world of status had shown its true, hollow colors. I looked at my children, stripped of everything but their regret. I'm not giving you your jobs back, I said. That life is over, but I am giving you a chance. The Matilda Parker Foundation needs project coordinators. It's entry level. There are no company cars. You will start from the bottom and build your own lives. Your real lives. The relief that washed over them was agonizing to behold. I looked at them, my children, finally returned from a long, arrogant exile. I was about to make dinner, I said, my voice rough. I have a pot roast. There's enough for 3. Arthur's story forces us to ask a difficult question. Where is the line between unconditional support and enabling entitlement? His painful, drastic action wasn't just about revenge. It was the only way to tear down the poisonous illusion his children had built. In the end, he didn't just reclaim his dignity. He offered them a chance to reclaim their souls. Was he justified? Or was the price of their lesson too high? Some believe loyalty to family means endless forgiveness. Others believe true loyalty sometimes requires a hard truth. What do you think?